Well, still to come, an eager high school band sets its sights on Los Angeles. We'll be back in just a moment.
130 Southern Indiana band members are hoping for a very successful happening tomorrow. Night Team's John McGrath reports if all goes well, they'll be part of the Summer Olympics.
Paoli Peak is quiet tonight, but if all goes well, it will be quite a bit different tomorrow. These kids are hoping the peak is swarming with people. If so, they'll be able to play this song for real. They're the Pride of Paoli, a high school marching band, and they've been invited to play at the opening ceremonies of the Summer Olympics. The hitch is the cost of the trip, around $91,000. So far, half that amount has been raised, and band boosters are counting on a big crowd tomorrow at the happening on Paoli Peak. It starts at 1:30, and it includes food, a raffle to give away a new car, a big fireworks display, and lots of music, including one big name.
We've got a real exciting time. We've got two rock groups that'll be there. We've got the Wright Brothers, country western, and then closing the evening out at 8 o'clock with Tanya Tucker's.
The happening will cost about $50,000 to put on. Any money raised over that amount will go to pay for the trip to Los Angeles. Tickets are $8 in advance and $10 at the gate. That means the happening has to attract about 10,000 people to raise enough money. The band members and band director are too busy practicing to worry about how they get to the Olympics. As far as they're concerned, they're going one way or another.
We have to march. We'll go.
And if Teresa Elliott has anything to say about it, they'll march in step, hopefully off an airliner in Los Angeles. John McGrath, Action 11 News Night Team in Paoli, Indiana.
Good luck.
Always takes some gold to get to the gold, huh?
Sure does.
For the Paoli High School Marching Band, the 4th of July may mean the difference between a trip to Los Angeles to perform at the Olympics and staying at home. Cecily McBain reports.
As a fundraiser for the trip, the band is putting on The Happening at Ski Paoli Peaks. It's an all-day music festival featuring country and rock groups. The Pride of Paoli Marching Band has raised half the money to cover its $100,000 trip next month. Today's festival is costing $50,000 to stage, so they'll have to raise more than that to realize any profit. Band director Teresa Elliott, who's helped gain the band nationwide recognition, is cautiously optimistic about today.
We really would like for the kids to be able to take this trip through the help of the boosters, not particular families, because there would be a lot of students that would not be able to attend. If we don't go as a group, we don't go.
Once inside the festival grounds, other fundraising activities are underway, including a new car raffle. Although there were 2,000 tickets sold in advance, this afternoon's crowd was small. Bad weather was the greatest fear of festival organizers. The bands were set up and ready to go, but because of intermittent rain, the equipment was kept covered. Finally, the sun broke through, and the rock group The Waitresses took the stage. The Waitresses were followed by another rock group called The Producers. Tonight, the country rock group The Wright Brothers will perform, followed by country music star Tanya Tucker at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock Louisville time. A fireworks display will follow the concert. Tickets to the happening are $10. Cecily McBain, 32 Alive News in Paoli.
And this is more than Independence Day in Paoli, Indiana. This is Dependence Day for the high school band. It's depending on thousands of dollars from today's outdoor concert to finance a trip to the Olympics. But as Rick Chambers reports, rain washed away part of that take.
Paoli is one of 10 bands nationwide to be selected for the Summer Games. But with that honor comes the enormous task of paying for the trip. Band boosters wagered $50,000 that this outdoor concert would be a big enough draw to offset some of the trip's expense. But they lost.
We've risked a lot here, and we expected and hoped for a big return. The weather has not been all in our favor today, so we'll just have to wait and see how it does come out.
By mid-afternoon, only a fraction of the 6,000 people needed to break even were on hand. And depending on the turnout for tonight's country stars, losses from this concert could reach $25,000.
If we lose that amount, it's obviously a significant amount. On the other hand, it is money that we have in the bank. It's not a matter that we have borrowed money to carry off the festival or anything like that.
We're not going to give up, and I think if you look around, you'll find the kids are here having a good time, and you know, we're going to make it.
Money from souvenir sales and a car raffle will fall way short of the more than $50,000 still needed for the trip to Los Angeles.
Band boosters will meet next week with big business in an attempt to not only recoup the losses from this event, but to finalize fundraising efforts. Whether they can raise the thousands of dollars needed, though, isn't known. Band director Elliott says one way or another, her kids will be in Los Angeles come August. In Paoli, Rick Chambers, WAVE TV News.
Until now, solicitations for funds by the band have been on a local level, but it's clear more help is needed. To donate to the Paoli High School Band's trip to the Olympics, send your contribution to P.O. Box 187, Paoli, Indiana. By the way, tonight's concert in Paoli with the Wright brothers and Tanya Tucker has been moved to the Paoli High School. It starts at 7:30 Louisville time.
The Paoli band, working to raise $91,000 for a trip to the Summer Olympics, may not reach its goal. The band called the Pride of Paoli was selected for the trip and has planned fundraisers since April. They had $49,000 in hand before yesterday's 4th of July concert, but because of the weather, attendance was down, and band organizers say the group didn't cover the concert's cost. Parents of band members will meet tonight to see how they can raise the money. The band must pay most of its Olympic trip expenses in 11 days or it can't make the trip.
Yesterday's rainy weather has dealt a nearly fatal blow to the hopes of the Paoli High School Band to perform at the opening ceremonies of the Summer Olympics. The band needed to raise $100,000 for the trip, but lost nearly $27,000 yesterday when only a handful of people showed up for a 4th of July fundraising concert. A band booster says the outlook is pretty bleak, but they are holding a meeting tonight to try to figure where to turn. The only chance for the band, he says, is for some very generous benefactors to step forward very quickly.
A dream. Scott Patrick has the story.
Meet 110 members of the U.S. Olympic team, the Paoli High School Band. Their field of competition, the playing field. The band has been invited to welcome the world to the L.A. Olympics. But it takes more than just memorizing music to make it to L.A. It takes money. The band boosters use the old adage, to make money, you've got to spend money. They organized a July 4th concert. It cost $50,000 to stage. It was supposed to raise double that. It did not. The rain washed away any profits, but not the band members' hopes.
I think if the kids keep their hopes high, that we'll still be able to go, because I think we can still raise the money. It's quite a bit, but I think we'll be able to do it.
If we just keep our minds and attitudes up and try to raise the money, I think we'll be able to make it without any problem at all.
So while the band went through the paces, the parents went through the damages, trying to figure out ways to still send the Pride of Paoli. It turned into a parental pep rally.
I think the willingness is still there, and if we get behind it, I think we can still make it.
Even if they don't make it to the Olympics, band members still consider it a unique, distinct honor to have been selected to represent their country. They've still earned their gold medal, even if they're not able to attend the awards ceremony. In Paoli, Indiana, Scott Patrick, WAVE TV News, tonight.
Well, that band booster meeting has continued all evening up in Paoli, and Scott has returned now from Paoli. He's in the newsroom. And Scott, any decision from Paoli on whether the trip is still go?
No decisions yet, Don, but apparently the meeting is still going on at this hour. That's probably 2.5 hours this meeting has lasted. I think you could see that the band boosters' enthusiasm was just as much as the band members. But economic reality really set in at this meeting. Yesterday's washout pretty much wiped out most of the money raised so far. But they have a lot of ground to make make up in very little time. But the fact that the meeting continues at this hour is a very good sign that the parents are pulling all stops, all efforts to try to get those kids to L.A. They did have some good news tonight. One band booster said he raised $16,000 today. So if they have a few more days like today and a few less like they did yesterday, well, they have a pretty good chance. If the band decides to keep going for the gold, it's a good bet that most businesses in and around Paoli can expect to hear a knock on the door in the next few days.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Christy?